The coronavirus pandemic threatens us both, biologically and in our wider community.
Aber sie bedroht uns auch in unserem Gemeinwesen.
Every day, our daily life becomes more restricted and limited.
Wird unser Alltagsleben eingeschränkter und reduzierter.
Measures against the coronavirus pandemic basically follow the logic of this virus, which is not to be criticized for the time being.
Und das ist vorerst mal gar nicht zu kritisieren. Jeder Virus
Each virus basically has its own particular intelligence and logic, as can be illustrated by the example of the infectious disease rabies, also caused by a virus.
der Tollwut beschreiben, die bereits Adolf Portmann im Jahre 1973 ausführlich beschrieben hat. Die Tollwut ist
Rabies is characterized by aggression, instinctual bite, fear of water, a wandering instinct, as well as swallowing and laryngeal cramps. This shows that this virus penetrates the organism and practically transforms the host organism for its own purposes. Because in the same way as the sick person behaves with rabies, he serves the virus. The viruses accumulate mainly in salvia. The cramps that are triggered in the organism prevent the viruses from being swallowed and thus rendered harmless. The instinct to bite ensures that the virus is spread further into other host organisms. The migratory instinct ensures that this virus is spread further, and the water shyness is there to ensure that the virus is not diluted but can develop in full activity. This all happens through our nervous system, which is transformed by the invading virus. We as humans are thus following an alien purpose. We serve the logic of this virus, and the same is true for the corona infection. The logic of this invading virus is isolation, fragmentation, division, and antisociality. Dear listeners, this weakens us all the way into our immune system. Man is a community being, a political entity. We cannot live alone. We are dependent on community. Man needs the other person for its development. You can already see that in babies and children. The human being becomes a human being through the other human being in general. Martin Buber expressed this in his philosophy in a wonderful sentence. The I develops the I through the you. And that is why the healing impulse that should now be set in the social sphere against the social virus, against the social spread and expansion of this pandemic worldwide, is not isolation that perhaps must be on the outside, that is right and necessary on the outside, but which represents a damaging element on the inside. That is why the opposite impulse to this virus is also the healing impulse here. Human solidarity, neighborhood assistance, brotherhood and mutual support. In its logic, the virus basically wants to make us believe that everyone is the enemy of the other and that everyone is threatened by the other person. The cure against these social viruses is the recognition that, in contrast to isolation and selection, mutual help and
stärkt,
care strengthens.
dass Zuwendung stärkt und nicht Isolation und Selektion.
Every sick
Jeder
person
Kranke
knows
weiß
this,
das.
and
Jeder
every
von
one
uns
of us
war schon
has
krank.
been sick at
Er
some
weiß
point.
genau, was
So we know
Menschlichkeit bedeutet,
exactly what human
was
attention
Unterstützung, was
and
soziale
social
Unterstützung
support
für den
means for the
Genesungs- und
recovery
Heilungsprozess
and
eines
healing
Kranken,
process, and in
Menschen,
general for the
sein
well-being of the
Immunsystem.
person and ultimately also for his or her immune system.
Sicherlich ist es
Certainly,
eine
according to all we know at the
antibiotikaresistente
moment, it is right and necessary
Wichtig und
to
notwendig,
take radical,
unsere
external, hygienic and protective measures for the population.
Hygiene- und Schutzmaßnahmen für die Bevölkerung zu treffen.
But at the same time,
Gleichzeitig
it is a matter of showing internal solidarity,
innere Solidarität,
humanity, neighborhood support,
Menschlichkeit
and humanity in the light of the
Nachbarschaftshilfe
threatening situation.
und Humanität angesichts der Bedrohungslage zu zeigen.
Every
Es
friendly
geht um
conversation,
Gespräch.
and if it is
Wird
done via
per
Skype,
Skype,
phone,
per
whatever,
Telefon,
or other social media,
über WhatsApp
it is a
oder sonst wie
contribution to
moderne
the
Medien
stabilization
geführt wird,
of health
ist ein
within the
Beitrag
population,
zur Stabilisierung
especially for children and
der
young people.
Gesundheit innerhalb der Bevölkerung und das betrifft vor allem dann auch Kinder und Jugendliche. Verehrte liebe Zuhörerinnen und Zuhörer, wir werden
Dear
weiter
listeners, we
in
will continue to show
Videoclips
you methods in video
und
clips
Methoden zeigen,
how we can
wie
intercept this
diese
logic
Logik
of the coronavirus
des
and
Virus,
how
dieses
we can
Corona
use emergency pedagogical
unterbrechen kann.
methods to
In der
counterbalance the
Ausgrenzung,
exclusion,
der
isolation,
Isolation
and fragmentation of
und der
our society.
Fragmentierung unserer Gesellschaft durch notfallpädagogische Methoden Gegengewichte setzen können, die indirekt eine
These
Stärkung
methods
unseres
indirectly
Immunsystems
strengthen our immune system
biologisch bedeuten.
biologically, so that
So
emergency pedagogy
dass
is an indirect
Notfallpädagogik
form of
eine
prophylaxis
indirekte Form
and disease
der
control.
Prophylaxe und der Seuchenbekämpfung darstellt. Ich wünsche Ihnen allen und Ihren
I wish
Angehörigen,
you
bleiben
and
Sie
your
gesund
relatives
und ich
stay well,
hoffe,
and
dass
I
wir
hope that we can serve you in
unseren
this situation
Anregungen
with our
Ihnen in
suggestions and
dieser
ideas.
Situation